You know what to do. You know who to vote. Throughout this 1858 Illinois senatorial campaign, we have been able to learn about different issues, such as conflict over slavery and states' rights, and also deeper questions that influence political discourse, through the 7 debates between the Democratic Senator Stephen A. Douglas and Republican Abraham Lincoln. The initial idea that Douglas presented was about popular sovereignty, under which the people of a territory, in this case a state, would decide whether to permit slavery within their region's boundaries. He insisted that the power should reside at a local level and should reflect the wishes of the people. During his famous Freeport Doctrine, he stated that territories could still determine the existence of slavery through unfriendly legislation and the use of police power, in spite of the Supreme Court decision. Now, the turn for Lincoln. First of all, he states that popular sovereignty is false. The clearest way to understand this is through one of his speeches. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall. But I do expect it will cease to be divided. He convincingly says that slavery must be restricted and eventually abolished, saying that he has always seen slavery as unjust. And with this I must agree. Why do some persons have to answer to others? Also, fundamentally to his argument is his conviction that slavery must be dealt with as a moral wrong. He says that it violates the statement in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, and it runs counter to the intentions of the Founding Fathers. Douglas rejects Lincoln's notion of an irrepressible conflict and disagrees with his analysis of the intentions of the Founding Fathers, pointing out that many of them were slaveholders who believed that each community should decide the question for itself. Now, talking about what are the plans for the future of these two congressmen, Douglas insists that the most important factor is that the people should have the right whether to allow or forbid slavery. So he really doesn't take much part in the matter, if slavery is morally good or incorrect. And do you really want someone that doesn't see as an injustice slavery to guide you? On the other hand, Lincoln supports the idea that slaves should be freed and then encouraged to leave the United States to return to their country of origin. He also proposes the idea of repealing slavery gradually and possibly compensating slave owners for their losses after slaves are freed. This demonstrates that the principal matter to Lincoln is to free the slaves and give them a better life, returning them to their natal countries. So, after all this, I tell you the same as the beginning. You know what to do. Vote for Abraham Lincoln. You won't only free your brothers and sisters unfairly enslaved, but you will also assure to your nation freedom and prosperity.